Hello everyone, and I'm Autobot Sonic, the Telltale Gamer, bringing latest everything Transformers, Telltale games, and more. I cannot believe what I am seeing right now. We have gotten the actual first Season 2 trailer for Transformers EarthSpark today, and it pretty much just lays out what the entirety of Season 2 of EarthSpark is going to be. And on top of that, we even got the names and episode summaries for what may potentially be every single episode of EarthSpark Season 2. Now, I know a few days ago I talked about the leaked episode names for episodes 1 through 4, as well as pictures of episodes 1 and 2, but now we've got a whole 30-second trailer of EarthSpark Season 2 with a summary explaining what the season's going to be about, and potentially this season might only be 10 episodes as opposed to the 26 episodes last season. Hey, this is Autobot Sonic from the future here while editing the video. I just made a huge discovery about EarthSpark Season 2. According to a press release that Paramount just released while I was editing this video, they confirmed that what is coming out on June 7th is not the entire Season 2. It's just going to be the first 10 episodes. So thankfully this means that EarthSpark Season 2 will be longer than 10 episodes. So every time I say, oh, I hope EarthSpark Season 2 is going to be only 10 episodes this season, just ignore that. I really hope that's not the case, but just a little warning that that is what's going to maybe happening, because Season 2 will be premiering on June 7th on Paramount Plus. Not the 14th like we previously suspected, but instead a week earlier on June 7th. I am incredibly excited for that. So we've got so much to talk about this. We got the 30-second trailer with Transformers EarthSpark here. We got the summary for it, and the leaked, or I guess not really leaked now, the sort of leaked 10 episodes, summary, and names for Transformers EarthSpark Season 2. So we've got so much to cover. If you're excited to talk about it all, be sure to like, comment, and of course subscribe. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. So first off here, let's go ahead and just dissect this 30-second trailer that EarthSpark, or Paramount Plus, has posted for EarthSpark Season 2. So it starts out here just with a shot of Optimus, just a regular action shot, but the interesting thing here is you can see he has proper Autobot insignias on his shoulders now. He doesn't have the Ghost Autobot badges he had on back in Season 1. This is most likely because Ghost is now non-existent as of after the events of Season 1. So, of course, now they're just back to being regular Autobots. So it's cool to see that Optimus, and as we'll see later in this trailer, Alita's design has updated as well, where the Autobot symbol on her chest has been updated to just be the regular Autobot symbol instead of the Autobot Ghost one. And I'm sure if we see other characters, like, even though Megatron shows up in this, we don't get to see if he just has a regular Decepticon symbol. I'm sure he does, though. But it's interesting to see. But then comes some very, very interesting and a bit concerning, maybe a little bit as well. So first off, we have this one action shot here of Optimus, Bumblebee, Alita, Nightshade, and Robbie and Mo inside their exosuits that we saw a while ago. We have what seems to be Mo riding on top of Thrash and Robbie on Twitch here. And I really, really like the designs of these exosuits. The helmets almost remind me of Tom from Toonami. If any of you have watched that show, or I guess program block on Adult Swim and Cartoon Network back in the day, it reminds me a lot of Tom's designs from that, and I really dig it. But the interesting thing here is we actually get revealed as to what the plot of Season 2 is going to be, as well as who the main antagonist is. So for months now, we thought, oh, is it going to be Aftermath? Is it going to be this mysterious new character we saw in the pictures a few days ago? Is it going to be Mandroid, somehow back from the dead, or Agent Croft, or someone new? Apparently, the main antagonist of Season 2 is going to be Starscream. And that is something I did not expect, and honestly, I don't know how to feel about it, because it could work well, but considering how we saw him act with Hashtag in What Dwells Within back in Season 1, especially helping all the Terrans by rallying all the Decepticons to defeat Mandroid, the fact that Starscream seems to be back in a villain role, and according to this, his mission is to recover the Ember Stone, which, as we saw at the end of Season 1, was shattered when Robbie and Mo used it to revive everyone after Mandroid killed everyone. Apparently, though, the shards of the Ember Stone have been scattered around the world, and it's up to Robbie and Mo to find all these shards before, apparently, Starscream can get them all. And as he says in this trailer, his plan is to take over the world so that Decepticons can rule it. So I don't necessarily think this might... I'm just a bit concerned about this, because I totally understand Starscream still harboring a hatred towards humans and Autobots, but the thing is, if he just goes out of his way to be like, oh, all the Terrans are just bad guys too, or if he goes to hashtags like, I was just, like, playing you, like, I never really cared about you, hashtag, that is going to be a really, really big problem to me, in my opinion, just because they set up Starscream to have such a close relationship with hashtag, especially by having her resonate with his trauma, and now just have him go like, that meant nothing. I'm not sure how to feel about that. I'm going to be optimistic about this because so far it does feel very in character with what Starscream is known to do in other continuities, and he hasn't shown overall any outward disdain towards the Terrans in this 30-second trailer. But it is something to keep an eye on, because as we can see here, we've got a shot of presumably Robbie capturing a shard of the Emberstone, which is red now, inside this little, like, containment capsule. And also, we get our first look at Robbie unmasked in Season 2, and apparently, this season takes place 1 year after the events of Season 1, and so Robbie and Mo both have updated designs. I'll get into this a bit later, but as we can see here, here's our first look at Robbie's Season 2 design, and he definitely looks a bit older than he was in Season 1, so now Robbie would be 14 to 15, and Mo would then be 10 to 11 years old. So, I definitely see the growth most in Mo, which you'll see later, but Robbie's new haircut, I actually kind of like the fact that he's got sort of the sides of his head shaved. He's almost got a bit of a mohawk now. It actually makes Robbie look quite a bit more mature, and I'm eager to see how Robbie acts in Season 2 compared to how he did in Season 1. But anyway, as this trailer continues, we see Nightshade and Twitch carrying Robbie with an Emberstone shard here. And based on the environment, this looks to be the area we saw in the screenshot of Episode 1 Aftermath a few days ago. So I think this is going to be part of Episode 1, that Robbie and Nightshade and Twitch are out grabbing this Emberstone shard. Based on the design of the mountain behind them, I think this might actually be the remnants of the giant space bridge tower where Mandroid had tried to wipe out everyone last season. So I think that maybe since then Ghost or some other human military organization has, like, sort of converted the tower into, like, a base of operations for the Terrans or Maltos, whatever. And that's what I'm thinking about this. But then, anyway, as Robbie and Twitch are getting away, Robbie gets yoinked by the Decepticon we saw in the Episode 1's screenshot a few days ago. And it is not Insecticon like I thought. It seems to be a brand new Decepticon who's, like, got some sort of tow truck alt mode. Hello, this is Autobot Stomp from the future again, and I have just another big discovery I made while I was editing this video. So, turns out this tow truck Decepticon, this isn't just any ordinary Decepticon. I am 99.9% sure that who we're looking at right here is Aftermath. And I can distinctly definitely say that that is Aftermath because of this screenshot that got released in an official press release Hasbro and Paramount released today. And this on top of many other things with their press release, they also announced several new voice actors for EarthSpark Season 2. So I'm going to go over the ones that are revealed in this shot right here. So this is, I imagine, in Episode 1 of Season 2 called Aftermath, where we see Starscream with Spitfire and the purple Cybertronian Terran potentially next to her. I think that this could be Aftermath, and I'll get into that with an explanation of one of the leaked episode descriptions I'll be talking about later on in this video. But on top of that, we also know who are going to be voicing Aftermath and Spitfire. So with Spitfire, I thought she was just going to be voiced by Catherine Kavari again, since considering she's basically just a green and purple Twitch. Why wouldn't she just have Twitch's voice actress but just be, like, evil, essentially? But no, apparently Spitfire will have a completely new voice actress. She will not be voiced by Catherine Kavari, but instead of all people, Zelda Williams. So for those who don't know Zelda Williams, she has done a lot of great voice acting work over the past few years. You'll probably recognize her as the voice of Kuvira in Seasons 3 and 4 of The Legend of Korra, Mona Lisa in the 2012 version of Teenage Ninja Turtles, or most recently as Casey Jones in Rise of Teenage Ninja Turtles. So hearing Zelda as Spitfire is going to be really cool to see, because I loved her as Kuvira in Korra and as Mona Lisa in the 2012 Ninja Turtles series. So I'm eager to see how she voices Spitfire in this and how she'll sound different from Catherine Kavari as Twitch. Like, is Spitfire just gonna be her own character? Maybe she was made with a shard of Twitch's, like, DNA or something. Maybe that's why she looks like Twitch then. Meanwhile, here, Aftermath is not it does not look like a Thrash or Jawbreaker even. So it's funny I should mention that, because literally he does look more like Jawbreaker than Thrash. But anyway, we also know Aftermath's voice actor, if this is in fact Aftermath. So apparently, Aftermath will end up being voiced by, of all people, Flea, the bassist of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And I'm not making it up. That is a casting I did not expect at all for EarthSpark, especially for who is presumably going to be a main character like Aftermath. To have Flea come on as the voice of Aftermath, I'm not exactly sure what to think of that, but I do love his design, and I'm eager to see how he's going to play into EarthSpark. And so we see this one screenshot of Starscream looking at Aftermath and Spitfire. I imagine he maybe just created them. He's explaining to them who he is. Maybe he's trying to groom Spitfire and Aftermath, saying, "Oh, humans hate us. You shouldn't want to have to be part of what humans and the Autobots are doing. You gotta work with me to take them down," essentially. Oh, I am so excited for this. You guys have absolutely no idea. But also, it's a cool thing here we can see as Twitch transforms and turns around to try and grab Robbie with Nightshade. We can see she does have the Terran insignias on her shoulders now. So, pretty much all the Terrans will be having their own insignias in this. But we get a few more clips here, such as Robbie pulling back on the Emberstone Shard from this Decepticon, with Nightshade and Twitch trying to pull him back as well. But then the important thing here is when we get to Starscream's section, and Starscream lays out his whole plan, as I stated before, that he's going to use the Emberstone to apparently take over the world and have it be ruled by Decepticons. So, this is where I get a little concerned. We have a shot of what looks to be Starscream in the same area Robbie, Twitch, and Nightshade were just in Episode 1, Aftermath. But behind him, we have many other Decepticons. That includes Soundwave, Novastorm, Skywarp, the Insecticons, and my beloved Breakdown. So, I'm very concerned, like, obviously, of course, having Skywarp, Novastorm, and Soundwave and the Insecticons with Starscream makes sense, because definitely Novastorm and Skywarp, because they're loyal to Starscream as part of the group of Seekers, so of course they would follow him, even if they're not always on the best terms. Soundwave, we saw in the lead scene back in Warzone in Season 1, that at least Starscream and Soundwave seem to be on friendly terms, so I can understand that. The Insecticons are just mindless drones, so it makes sense that they would follow Starscream. However, I'm very conflicted onto having Breakdown be on Starscream's side here, seemingly of his own free will, because it seemed to be that Breakdown, well, I wouldn't say Breakdown is the most selfless character. I definitely think he has some sort of selfish aspects to him, like how he was willing to, at first, leave Bumblebee behind at the breaks back in security protocols, but then had a change of heart and opted to sacrifice himself so that Bee could escape. And then he went out again to go save Bee and Schloeder from Grimlock, RC, and Wheeljack when they were all controlled by Mandroid in the Season 1 finale. Having Breakdown here with Starscream, everyone, presumably going up against Bumblebee, it feels, I don't know, that feels kind of wrong to me, and I'm not really sure how to feel about that. Yes, of course, Breakdown doesn't have the best view on humans, and humans in general, and Earth, because if you remember back in episode 25, when Nightshade and Twitch are trying to convince all the Decepticons to help them battle Mandroid, Breakdown himself was the one who said that he doesn't really harbor any love towards Earth because humans and Earth as a whole never really cared about Decepticons. So maybe that's where they're going with Season 2. Essentially, now that Mandroid's gone, Starscream feels as though there's nothing really, with Mandroid and Ghost gone, there's nothing really stopping him or Decepticons from continuing Megatron's original mission of just taking over the world, and because since no humans really care about them, why should they care about them in return? And maybe we'll see that maybe Breakdown agrees with Starscream in that regard, so maybe he'll actually be conflicted with Bumblebee and maybe actually switch sides to the Autobots later on. That I'm hoping that, maybe this is just all a big copium, but I'm really hoping that we're not just seeing a complete retcon of all the character growth we saw Starscream and Breakdown do in Season 1, just to have that reverted here. I can understand Soundwave, Skywarp, and Novastorm and the Insecticons doing it. Starscream to some extent, because he doesn't really like anyone other than Hashtag and maybe Twitch. But Breakdown, he has a good relationship with Bumblebee, so is he just going to be okay with fighting and potentially killing his best friend? I don't know, but I'm very, very nervous to see what is going to happen with Breakdown in this season 2. I'm at least happy he's going to be in it, but I'm worried they don't assassinate his character. Moving on from that, we have this very brief, like barely a second long clip of Starscream in this big glowing green room that I can't really tell what it is, but he's got red lightning and energy all around him as he seems to be holding what I imagine is either the completed Ember Stone / Chaos Stone or just a shard of the Ember Stone / Chaos Stone, because in a later scene we'll see Starscream holding what seems to be the Ember Stone but red, so maybe that is the resurrected Ember Stone, that he's imbued with some sort of alternate energy source. Maybe that's just how it looks now because it got shattered. Maybe it's called the Shatter Stone or whatever, I don't know. But it's still an interesting thing to look at. After that, we just have like another shot here of Twitch, Dot, and Alex inside the dugout, confirming that the dugout will be back in Season 2. And unlike Robbie and Mo, Dot and Alex haven't really changed a lot from Season 1. Their outfits are the exact same from Season 1. The only thing is, I do notice that there is a slight shift in the animation style from Season 1 compared to now in Season 2. Dot and Alex's faces look a little bit different from how they were in Season 1, but it's not a bad change necessarily. It's just going to take some time to get used to on my part. But overall, I'm happy that Dot and Alex are keeping the same designs because I liked them in Season 1, but so it's cool to see they'll be keeping the same designs in Season 2. But after that, we get our proper first looks now at not only Robbie, but also Mo's designs for EarthSpark Season 2, and Mo especially has changed a lot since Season 1. Her whole design seems to have gotten a complete upgrade. I shouldn't say upgrade, because I did like her design in Season 1, but just a complete change compared to Robbie. Well, Robbie definitely looks, I'd say Robbie's, like, his face definitely looks more grown in, that he looks a bit more mature, and of course he's got the mohawk now. He's also got a brand new outfit where instead of the white grayish turtleneck, like long sleeve shirt he was wearing in Season 1, he's wearing now a proper like button down, like almost like jersey shirt. Almost, that looks pretty cool in my opinion. I like Robbie's new design. Mo's design though actually looks really, really good. So where she just had the big poofy afro in Season 1 with a red Malto leather jacket, and it seems as though now she's going for a purple long sleeve shirt with like a purple vest on it with a bunch of buttons and pins on it, very similar to how she had all the pins on her other jacket in Season 1. Her design with the vest and shirt though honestly reminds me of any of my Telltale fans. You may remember Violet from The Walking Dead, the final season. Her design, Mo's design in Season 2 of EarthSpark looks very similar actually to Violet in The Walking Dead final season, which is funny considering Mo's middle name is Violet as well. But also, Mo's got a completely different haircut from how she had in Season 1, where instead of her big afro, she now seems to have, like, two, like, buns, like, braided up together on the top of her head. And I think they actually listened to the animation team actually listened to some complaints people had about Mo's face looking way too cartoony and her eyes are huge compared to every other character. It seems as though they made Mo a lot more grown up and mature in Season 2. So even though we know from leaks that Season 2 takes place a year after the events of Season 1, to me, Mo definitely looks a lot older than she was in Season 1. So I'm going to say she's definitely towards, like, 10, she's definitely 10 or 11 in this season. So I am excited for that. And also here, we see Robbie, Mo, Twitch, and Thrash at what looks to be some sort of fair. Now, this will play into one of the leaked episode summaries we got a while ago, but I'll get back to that later when we go through all the episode summaries. After that, it's just a few action shots here, but some of them are pretty interesting. The first one we have here is of Robbie battling the tow truck Decepticon, presumably a clip from Episode 1 Aftermath, nothing really important to do there. Then we have a series of shots here of Soundwave, Skywarp, and Nova Storm landing on the middle of this road in the forest of Witwicky. One thing I notice here is with Skywarp, you can actually see her right wing has been repaired so that it doesn't have a huge chunk of it missing like it was in Season 1 after Megatron nearly cut it off in Age of Evolution Part 1. So it's cool to see that they're actually acknowledging that by having Skywarp's wing be fixed in the year that's been taking place between Seasons 1 and 2. After that, we cut to another shot of Optimus and Alita transforming on the same road with Nova Storm in front of them. So this pretty much, in my opinion, confirms that these two scenes are happening at the same time. But then, in between both of these scenes, we have a shot of Robbie and Mo in their exosuits touching, like, the gems on their cyber sleeves and then glowing green, holding their arms out. So, as we'll get into this with the leaked summaries of Season 2 episodes later on in this video, but I'm just going to talk about it now. I believe what they're doing here is something that was teased all the way back with the Cyber Combiner toys that were released a few months ago, and that is they're going to be doing something called cyber syncing. So in many of the episode summaries for Season 2, it mentions how there is a new ability that Terrans and Maltos have called cyber syncing. That appears to be some sort of combination slash fusion, but not in the sense of something like, let's say, RID-15, where we had Ultra Bee with Bumblebee, Sideswipe, Strongarm, Grimlock, and Drift all merged together, but they were all kind of still each their own person, just in a giant body. It seems as though when the Maltos and Terrans will combine or cyber sync, they will essentially become brand new characters, or so with their own personality. So think very similarly actually to gem fusions in Steven Universe, where like you had Garnet be the fusion of Sapphire and Ruby. And while Sapphire and Ruby were their own characters, when they fused into Garnet, Garnet was her own character. So if, let's say, Robbie and Thrash or Robbie and Twitch fused together, they would turn a brand new character. They wouldn't just be Robbie and Twitch in one body. They would just be a brand new character altogether. So I'm interested to see what exactly these cyber syncing combinations are that we're going to get in this season. And based on some of the summaries we got, I'm sure they're going to be very, very entertaining. Now, this next series of shots, I'm actually very, very interested in, and it might make me believe that actually Starscream has a bit more nuance to him than just simply, oh, I'm evil again, I didn't really care about all you, I'm gonna just take over the world. And it's this shot with, looks to be Hashtag and Mo battling Starscream. So, in the shot here, the first one we have, it's of Starscream holding a red gem, which looks very similar in shape to the Ember Stone. Maybe this is the completed Ember Stone or the Chaos Stone. And we see Mo activate her arm blade and presumably leap up to attack Starscream. The interesting thing here is the surroundings of near Mo and Hashtag here. And we've got these very ominous glowing red plants. And if you remember from episode 21, What Dwells Within, these were the same plants Hashtag and Starscream found in the control room of where the giant map was when they were chasing the Dweller, where they had their big conversation about Megatron's abusing Starscream back in episode. So, based on leaks that are, I think this might actually happen in episode 10, aka the potential season finale of EarthSpark. What's interesting thing here, though, is that when Mo is seen here charging at Starscream, at first, Hashtag just seems to be standing still in a very relaxed pose. It made me think, oh, is Hashtag under Starscream's control? Is he, like, forcing her to stay still while he fights Mo? But then, what's really interesting is at the very end of the clip, when Mo gets really close to the screen, you can actually see what looks to be Hashtag reaching out towards Mo instead. So, it's almost like as if Hashtag is trying to stop Mo, but it doesn't look, it's like, in the sense that Hashtag is under Starscream's control and is stopping her. It seems to me that perhaps maybe Starscream is actually sort of gaslighting Hashtag, or at least trying to convince her, like, hey, humans don't care about us. We should work together to rule this planet because they're gonna want us dead. So how about we just take over the world and let them serve us instead? And maybe Hashtag is like having some sort of identity crisis here, where she's thinking, maybe Starscream does have a point and actually stops Mo. That would be really, really interesting to see. And while I totally think that Starscream could be a villain and this could still work in that regards, I just don't want to see him just immediately hate on the Terrans. It's totally cool if he fights the Autobots and Megatron because he has valid reasons to hate them, but if he just goes willy-nilly fighting the Terrans seemingly with no remorse whatsoever after what he did for them in Season 1, I'm gonna be a bit disappointed in my opinion. But that's pretty much all the major stuff here. There's only like 2 minor scenes after that where we have this one of Alita battling Skywarp inside the same harbor area where she and Optimus battled Swindle and Hardtop back in Season 1. And it seems as though while Alita and Skywarp are fighting, Jawbreaker comes in his alt mode and just headbutts Skywarp off her, and that sort of ends the trailer. But not before we get one last sneak peek of what seems to be Hashtag and Robbie, and I'll explain why I think this is Robbie later on in this video when we talk about the leaked episode summaries. So we get our first proper look at Hashtag's new alt mode that she'll be getting in Season 2, and surprise, surprise, it is a pickup truck. It is not the same one that Dot had in Season 1, but it is interesting, and seeing the full look of it as she transforms with, like, the more curvy design on her shoulders and chest especially, and all the more biolights on her head too. I really, really like this new design for Hashtag, and I'll be eager to see what is going to happen. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it. EarthSpark Season 2 will be coming out on June 7th with the first 10 episodes. That's gonna be it. Now let's go ahead and actually read the summary of EarthSpark Season 2, which is provided in the official YouTube video's description for a season, but also talking about what the leaked episode summaries of Season 2 are, so we can try to get a better idea of the scenes that we're seeing in this trailer. So to start with, the EarthSpark Season 2 summary reads as follows. In Season 2, the Ember Stone is shattered, and it's a race against the Decepticons to find all the pieces. Limitless power will be at the fingertips of whoever holds the artifact. Amidst the chaos, Robbie meets someone special, Mo uncovers an ancient secret in Witwicky, and the Terrans level up. Together, the Malto family and the Autobots see how far they must go to defend all that they love. So, pretty much the theme of this season is very similar actually to Transformers Prime Season 2, where it was just all the Autobots Decepticons racing to find all the Cybertronian artifacts. This seems to basically be the Autobots and Decepticons racing to find all the shards of the Ember Stone. And it also mentions a few highlights of the season, such as the Terrans leveling up with their cybersync abilities, Robbie meeting a special someone, which we'll be talking about more in one of the other episode summaries, and Mo uncovering an ancient secret, which we'll also talk about later on in this video. So without that done, let's go ahead now and actually read over the episode summaries for Transformers EarthSpark Season 2. So starting with the episode summaries for Transformers EarthSpark Season 2, Episode 1's title is, as we saw a few days ago, still called Aftermath. But here's a summary of it. 1 year after Mandroid's defeat and the Ember Stone shattering, the Maltos go on a search for the shards. When a Decepticon creates a new foe from a broken shard, the Maltos realize life in Witwicky is about to be chaotic. So I think that's what we saw in the several shots of this trailer where we had Robbie, Twitch, and Nightshade battling the pickup truck Decepticon. And potentially the shot we had of Starscream, Soundwave, Novastorm, Skywarp, the Decepticons, and Breakdown all as well. That essentially they're going there to grab the Emberstone shard. They find out Starscream is collecting all of them to take over the world, presumably. And as we know through Aftermath and Spitfire, it seems as though Starscream is going to use the Chaos Stone or the Emberstone shard to create Aftermath and Spitfire. Either way, though, I'm interested to see what the plan is going to be for this episode. After that, we move on to Episode 2, which is called In Ruins. This is the one we saw of the mysterious, masked figure that we thought was Aftermath, or maybe even Mandroid, now in a Cybertronian body. That seems to not be the case according to the description for the episode, though. So here, for Episode 2, In Ruins, while searching for Emberstone shards, Mo and Thrash stumble upon ancient ruins where a quintessent executioner lay in stasis. The duo try to care for the creature after it follows them home, but they fail to realize it has a plan of its own. So that pretty much confirms it. The figure we saw in the screenshot of Episode 2 In Ruins is not Aftermath, but instead a quintessent executioner. And I should have actually known this, because if you look at here a picture of a quintessent executioner from G1, while they generally don't really look the same, the G1 executioner still has the same 3 shark fin prawns on its head, just like the EarthSpark one here has as well. So this will be an interesting thing. A lot of people were actually debating if whether or not the Quintessons or the Quintessons, I don't really know the proper way to pronounce it, if the Quintessons were going to appear in EarthSpark, considering there were several allusions to them back in Season 1. And it seems very much confirmed that we will be getting Quintessons in Season 2. Maybe, a lot of people are saying that maybe this isn't the 10 episodes of EarthSpark are in Season 2 aren't going to be the entire Season 2, that maybe at the end of this half, it'll be revealed the Quintessons are going to be the bad guys now for the rest of the season after they defeat Starscream. But we'll have to wait and see. I'm honestly pretty excited for this one, honestly. Moving on from that, we have Season 2, Episode 3, Control-Alt-Delete. This is the episode where I believed Hashtag was maybe going to get her new alt mode, and it seems to be that'll be the case, because here, look at the description for it. In Episode 3, Hashtag helps the Autobots get rid of all the old ghost stuff around the base, which has her feeling like her Ghost Van alt mode is obsolete as well. Meanwhile, Shockwave needs to acquire a ghost hard drive that holds a key to Starscream's master plan. So, a few days ago, we actually got a screenshot of Episode 3 Control-Alt-Delete, but it wasn't really anything important. It was actually just Shockwave aiming his grappling hook arm at someone. We didn't know who, though. So, we know that what Shockwave is doing in this episode, that he's trying to get a ghost hard drive for Starscream's master plan. And what is this plan? I mean, we do know what it is. It's that Starscream plans to use the Emberstone to somehow take over the world. But why does he need a ghost hard drive for that? What is his plan to take over the world? Is he going to reactivate Mandroid's bridge weapon, but instead maybe reprogram it so it kills all humans instead of all Cybertronians? Or maybe he's going to use it to do what we saw Shockwave try to do back in Episode 16 of Season 1, Warzone, where maybe he's going to use the Emberstone to power up all the deactivated protoforms that Shockwave had built back in Episode 16 during the war still. I don't know, it's still too early to tell, but depending on what happens, I think I'm going to be either really excited or quite a bit disappointed, unfortunately, but I'm leaning to be more towards optimistic in my opinion. The next episode we have here is one I am very, very excited for. It's probably the episode I'm looking forward to the second most in this batch, and that is episode 4, The Butterfly Effect. So the description for it reads as follows. Robbie, Mo, Twitch, and Thrash attend a carnival where Robbie develops a crush on a new student, while Twitch, Thrash, and Mo encounter trouble with the carnival's Fairmaster. As heroes battle the Fairmaster, whose name here is Fair Maestro, they unlock a new power called cyber syncing. So that pretty much confirms this will be the episode where we get where cyber syncing will be introduced. But what's interesting here is focus on Robbie having a crush on a new student. So we saw back in season 1, the only real sort of friends that Robbie and Mo had at the Witwicky school were Bruno and Nisha. And they were just kind of two minor characters where they said they were going to have a pool party and invited Robbie and Mo. And that's where episode 7 ended, with Robbie and Mo going to this party. So I don't know if one of them is going to come back and that's the one Robbie has a crush on. But also the fact that the EarthSpark season 2 trailer description said that Robbie meets a special someone means that this is going to be a pretty big thing. What I'm wondering is, since we've had quite a bit of LGBT rep in EarthSpark already, where we had Nightshade, of course, as a non-binary character, and even in episode 2, we had Mo and Thrash watch a gay couple as Thrash was considering scanning their child's baby carriage as an alt mode. Is this episode going to potentially reveal that Robbie's gay? Is that what they're doing? I have no idea, but if that is the case, I'm going to be very excited, because not only will it be so cool to see another gay character in a Transformers series, this will be technically our first ever main LGBT character outside of Nightshade in a Transformers cartoon, and our first gay human character in a Transformers series. So I'm really hoping that's the case, but if not, he just had a crush on a girl, I'll be okay with that as well. As I was recording this video, a bunch of new screenshots got posted as a result of Paramount's press release, and one of these actually gives us our first proper look at Fair Maestro, who will be the villain in episode 4, the Fair Butterfly Effect. So as you can see here, he's got a very Ringmaster look to him, and definitely, honestly, it kind of makes me reminds me of a Willy Wonka or the Onceler from the Lorax also. But we also actually know who is going to be voicing the Fair Maestro, as according to the press release. But the same one that revealed that Flea will be Aftermath and Zelda Williams will be Spitfire. This press release also reveals that Richard Ayoade from the It crowd will be voicing Fair Maestro in this episode. So I have no idea what Fair Maestro's deal is, but I really like his design. So I'm just wondering, how is he going to factor in? Is he just some evil circus ringleader? Does he hate Cybertronians like Mandroid did, and when he sees Twitch and Thrash, he tries to kill them or capture them? Or is he like an actual supervillain that maybe Robbie and Mo to just say, oh look, he's doing evil stuff, we gotta stop him? I don't know, but he looks like, honestly, a hilarious, like, single episode, like, throwaway villain. And I can't wait to see, like, how he factors into the show, honestly. Now we have episode 5's description and title, which we always knew the titles for episodes 1 through 4, but we didn't know the titles for episodes 5 through 10. And based on the description of this episode, I think this is the one I'm going to be looking forward to the most, because it focuses on my boy Jawbreaker again. So here we go with episode 5, Togetherness. And here's the description of it. Jawbreaker wants a cyber sync, but he's left out. Walking home, he saves Aftermath from a woodland monster. The two spend the day together and accidentally sync into one awkward bot. Jawbreaker will become friends with, perhaps maybe even more than friends with Aftermath, and apparently while they hang out and do stuff together, they're gonna accidentally fuse into a new character. And consider they say one awkward bot, I assume this means that this fusion of Jawbreaker and Aftermath is going to be a brand new character that has their own wants and needs. So I am super, super excited to see that and to see how this makes Jawbreaker grow as a character, because we had a fantastic episode with him in season 1 with outtakes. So if we're going to get that same level of growth from Jawbreaker in this episode, I am so, so excited for it. So now we've got a quite interesting thing here with the EarthSpark Season 2 summaries. Apparently, on this leak, which is on the Rotten Tomatoes official website, by the way, we do not have a name or a description for episode 6. It just skips from episodes 5 to 7. At first, I thought this meant that maybe episode 5 or 7 was going to be a two-parter, but then the last two episodes of this batch, episodes 9 and 10, are explicitly named parts 1 and 2. So I think we just don't know what episode 6 is going to be. So let's come back to that another day. Well, maybe we'll wait and see when the season 2 actually premieres a month from now on June 7th. But anyway, here we've got episode 7, The Imposters. And this is a pretty interesting one. This one involves Twitch and Spitfire accidentally swapping bodies, while meanwhile the Decepticons plan to attack Twitch's friends and allies. So, considering that Spitfire we know from the toy leaks is a Twitch recolor, it'll be interesting to see what happens when Twitch and Spitfire swap bodies, because since this seems to sort of imply that Twitch or Spitfire is essentially going to be a well, we know she's a Chaos Terran. She's apparently aligned with Starscream and the other Decepticons. So maybe Twitch has to pretend she's Spitfire now, blending with Starscream and everyone else, while meanwhile Spitfire has to pretend she's Twitch, blending with Thrash, Nightshade, and everyone else there. But considering here where it says the Decepticons plan to attack Twitch's friends and allies, that's what gives me hope that they're not explicitly targeting the Terrans. So it makes me happy that presumably Starscream seems to hold no ill will against the Terrans. He's more so focused on taking down the Autobots and Megatron for that regard. Maybe just humans in general. But maybe he just thinks the Terrans are like cool in that regard and say that, hey, Terrans, you should be on our side. We don't want to fight you. You can join us instead. So I like that fact that it seems to be implying that Starscream isn't necessarily holding any ill will towards the Terrans, but he also isn't going to just let them stop him as well. So he wants them to join him, but if they choose not to, he will fight them. And I like that change for Starscream, and that's what's going to be happening with him. We then move on to our second last summary of potentially the entire season with episode 8, Dude, Where's My Trailer? So this episode, to me, feels like a very Bare Necessities-esque episode, in the fact that it seems to be entirely a filler-based episode. It's based on this description here. Optimus lands a prestigious photo shoot, so Robbie and Hashtag take his battle-worn trailer to get detailed. Unfortunately, the Decepticons steal it from them, leading the kids to race the clock to get it back in one piece. So it's just gonna be a simple, like, oh, we gotta get Optimus' trailer, hijinks ensue. But I'm not sure how I feel about this episode being such a filler one, because assuming that Season 2 is only going to be 10 episodes long, having such a pointless filler episode, in my opinion, is kind of a big problem when you just have such a limited amount of episodes. It was okay in Season 1 where you had, Bare Necessities, because that episode was so crazy, like with Energon-possessed bear, was such a cool and crazy idea, and you had also 25 other episodes that still move the story along. When you move down to only 10 episodes, and one of them is a filler episode about rescuing Optimus' trailer, I don't know, that one seems to me like a bit of a miss in my opinion. And that's also why I believe the one shot we had at the end of the trailer where Hashtag is out with one of the Molto children, I think that's Robbie. That might be a scene from episode 8, Dude, Where's My Trailer? That could also be the shot where we saw of Optimus and Alita battling Soundwave, Skywarp, and Nova Storm as well. And now that brings us to the last 2 episodes of Season 2A of EarthSpark, with episodes 9 and 10, Witwiki Parts 1 and 2. As I said earlier, we know now that this is not the season finale. This is just going to be the end of the first batch of EarthSpark Season 2. We don't know how many episodes Season 2 is getting. We don't know if it's going to be 2 more batches like Season 1 had, so we'll have 26 altogether. Or maybe we only have another 8, and so that Season 2 will only be 18 episodes. But regardless, we know at least these 2 episodes will not be the end of Season 2. Let's go ahead and read the summary for these episodes. Mo and Hashtag find a giant secret beneath Witwiki, and Starscream plans to use it for evil. To do so, Starscream needs to rebuild a shattered Emberstone. Robbie rallies his family and the Autobot to stop him and end the chaos once and for all. So, the beginning bit, how it explains Mo and Hashtag finding a giant secret, that to me lines up with the clips we saw of Mo and Hashtag battling Starscream in what looked like the map room from What Dwells Within. I really think that's what is going to happen in this finale for Season 2A, that essentially I think maybe part 1 will be Mo and Hashtag just looking for shards or something. They go down there, find, maybe that's some big quintessence ship or something, and then they get back up and they tell Robbie what happened. Robbie's like, we all gotta beat Starscream now, and then maybe that's it. Maybe episode 10 will end with them defeating Starscream, but then maybe the second and third and potentially third batches of Season 2 will be focused on a brand new villain, whether it's the Quintessence, another Decepticon, maybe even Aftermath or Spitfire will become an antagonist. I don't know, but knowing now that these are not going to be the only 10 episodes of EarthSpark Season 2 makes me really excited to see what we're going to get in Batch 2 and potentially Batch 3 of Season 2. So that's everything we can tell about EarthSpark from all the new screenshots we got of Season 2, the episode summaries, and even a 30-second trailer. But there is one more thing I want to leave you guys with. So, in the press release for EarthSpark Season 2, we got confirmation that Zelda Williams will be voicing Spitfire, Flea will be voicing Aftermath, and Richard Ayoade will be voicing Fairmaestro. However, we did get news about one more character that's going to be in EarthSpark Season 2, voiced by a previous Transformers alumni. That will be Weird Al Yankovic coming back, but instead of voicing Wreck-Gar like he did in Transformers Animated, he will instead be voicing Cosmos. So we have never before known that Cosmos was going to be in EarthSpark Season 2 before this, and to know that Weird Al Yankovic, of all people, is going to be voicing him is absolutely great. As I said before, he previously voiced Wreck-Gar back in Transformers Animated, and I know a lot of people are huge fans of his, and I just can't wait to see what he brings to the table as Cosmos. How is EarthSpark Cosmos going to be different from other versions of him like IDW or G1 or even Cyberverse Cosmos? Man, I am just so excited to see what is going to happen with EarthSpark Cosmos and how Weird Al Yankovic will play him. And so that is pretty much everything we have to say about Transformers EarthSpark Season 2 from this 30-second trailer and the episode summaries for what is hopefully only the first 10 episodes of EarthSpark Season 2. As I said before, EarthSpark Season 2 will be premiering in just a few weeks on June 7th on Paramount Plus, where episodes 1 through 10 will be released. So are you guys excited for EarthSpark Season 2 and potentially getting our first look at episode 1 in just a few days at the G1 4th anniversary event? If you are, be sure to like, comment, and of course subscribe, and I will see you guys later.